Time now for my Gregalogue. The only thing I love more than conspiracies are people who promote them. That's why I love truthers, attention-seeking dopes who claim to seek the truth behind 9/11. They believe the real explanation, that fundamentalist bastards flew planes into buildings, is way too simple. They ask that you leave your mind open, as if open-mindedness means wisdom when it simply means empty. People embrace conspiracies out of narcissism. They want you to believe they're smarter than you, that you're a victim of false consciousness, meaning you're comatose to the evils of America. It's funny to hear this from a guy who still lives in his mom's basement. Whenever I meet a dope who blames 9/11 on Bush, I always ask, how can you prove you didn't do it? He can't answer. He's retarded. The truth about conspiracies, there aren't any. If you can't prevent workplace gossip, how can you assume a government can keep a secret? Human beings, after all, are natural flapjaws. By the way, Harry Potter dies. You read the teleprompter. Okay, the best way to crush a theorist? Tell them that the real conspiracy is the plan to make people like them fall for conspiracies. So when someone says that 9/11 was an inside job, I reply, well, that's what the Jews want you to think, and then leave. But truthers are as scummy as Holocaust deniers. People who embrace conspiracies are creeps, frightened of focusing on more important stuff like terrorism or my birthday party, which is coming up, by the way. And you're all invited, every one of you. These idiots think they're putting their own lives at risk by touting their tripe. So maybe they deserve death, even if it proves they were right. And that's my gut feeling. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Long and hard, baby.
That's the only way to think, I find. All right, according to public records of the Federal Election Commission, MSNBC.com identified 144 journalists who made political contributions from 2004 to the start of the 2008 campaign. 125 journalists gave to Democrats, but only 17 gave to Republicans. That is a 1,000,000-to-1 ratio in the favor of Democrats. Well, actually, it's 9-to-1. But I'm not very good at math. The media always scoffs at folks who accuse them of being liberal. But isn't this proof that they are far from balanced? And I ask you, Katrina.
You know, I think it is. And one of those people who did, actually, one of those, I guess, 1 out of 9 people who did contribute to Republicans happened to be a former Republican congressman, of course, MSNBC's own Joe Scarborough. And, you know, and he's on what a lot of people call a liberal network, but he still has his own opinions. And I think we noticed a lot of people on Fox News as well also contributed to the Democratic Party. So maybe in the end, everything is fair and balanced, sort of.
Marina, is it wrong that reporters, they can do whatever they want, right? They can give whoever they like. Does it matter?
Well, I guess that's assuming that we think that reporters are people.
That's so true.
And people should have their opinions.
Yes.
But I also think it's a bit biased because it seems like someone's not getting enough money.
True, Dana. Do you believe reporters are people? Because sometimes I don't.
I think that they are. I mean, I once gave $50 to a Jehovah's Witness, but only to get her to come inside, Greg. You know what I'm saying? So, oftentimes it's not the money, it's the intent.
Are there really attractive Jehovah's Witnesses?
Oh, because, well, they don't gamble, they don't smoke, and they don't drink, so the skin is fresh and tight.
A whole nother demographic I've completely ignored in my efforts to find sex.
Problem is they don't dance.
Ainsley, do you think this is wrong?
See, I see both sides as my earring falls out somewhere caught in my hair. I see both sides to this because I think, you know, as journalists we're taught to be non-biased. We're taught not to have an opinion, or at least not let that opinion out. And we don't necessarily say those opinions on air, but yet, you know, when we're at home, when we're writing our checks, we can probably, I mean, I would think you can contribute to anyone's campaigns.
Yeah.
Although I have had friends that have asked me to contribute, and I haven't felt right about it because, of course, I support them as a friend, but I don't know if I want to take a side as a journalist.
Absolutely. In order to remain fair and balanced, Greg, I'd never give to any candidates or charities for that matter.
As we've been telling you all week, this is our 100th episode of Red Eye. Our first show, if you remember, was in the wee hours of February 6th. And I think we can all agree we've come a long way. So the Red Eye staff got together and made a nice montage of our greatest hits. Here are all of them. Psychologists claim an encounter with a Jewish prostitute may have led to Adolf Hitler's genocidal Holocaust. They believe he may have caught syphilis, which, if untreated, can eventually lead to madness. That explains me. According to a report, mental disturbances triggered by advanced stages of the disease could have resulted in Hitler targeting Jews and the mentally retarded, meaning it's the Jewish whore's fault. Do you buy this, Marina?
No, I mean, you just don't blame a whole group of people just because you got syphilis from one person. I mean, like, let's say and this actually happened, I dated a white guy and I had bladder infections because, you know.
Yeah.
Now, do I look at the whole group and say, hey, all these white men are going to give me bladder infections? Obviously not, because it's not true, if you know what I'm saying, for all those men.
Yes.
So.
I heard there's a whole contrarian school of thought on this. It says that he actually got it from Ava Braun's pee.
Oh, really?
And I think it really puts the matter to rest. Laura mofo.
See what I mean? Amazing. Hey, what's the greatest movie ever made? No, not Bear Plumbers 3. That was my favorite, though. The 1941 Orson Welles classic Citizen Kane is again rated the best movie ever made by the American Film Institute. It held the same #1 billing. It earned the Institute's first top 100 ranking back in 1998. There are a few new ones added to the list, including Easy Rider, Shawshank Redemption, and Lord of the Rings. Dana, does this list make sense? And why is Easy Rider on there? I hate that movie.
Well, I was thrilling when the yokel popped them at the end, if only to stop the narrative. But I'm with you on that one, Craig.
Some of these movies are so overrated, Ainsley.
I know, The Notebook's not on the list. That was the best movie, right? Right? All the ladies.
Katrina, do you agree?
Katrina?
Well, I like The Notebook, but I was particularly upset not to see John Hughes dominating the entire list with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, 16 Candles, the list goes on, and I know all of them by heart.
Breakfast Club, remember that one?
If teenage girls ran the AFI, that's what would have happened.
Well, but also, can we get a shout out for Baby Geniuses? And Baby Geniuses 2, Super Babies? What the hell, Greg?
Dan, what was your favorite movie?
I don't like movies.
In London, a rollerblading stunt goes wrong, with the blader ending up under the wheels of a car. The blader slid down a handrail at a parking lot, arriving at the bottom at the same time as the white SUV, which ran over his legs. Miraculously, he escaped with just cuts and bruises. Miraculously? Sorry, I meant sadly. I hate rollerbladers. Hey, Mom, how are you?
Okay, what's cooking?
Not much. How you doing?
Fine. Now, I'll tell you the poem I've written.
Wait, why did you write a poem, Mom?
Well, I thought the topic is 100 hours of insanity.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. This is the lovely poem. Red Eye is a fun show from the start and from the word go. With Greg, Bill, and Andy, too, and all the funny people to make it all come true. So here we go to start the show. Adieu and my love to you. Oh, wasn't that sweet?
Oh,
sweet.
That was nice. How long did it take to put that together? 4 or 5 hours?
Oh, not quite. But, well, you know, I found the morning news very boring, so I sat and did this instead.
You must have been watching the Today Show. You know, you can really learn a lot after 100 shows, and Andy has a list of them. He returns once again from the newsroom. Go, Andy.
Hey, Greg. Here's everything we've learned from 100 episodes of Red Eye. We've learned that Fox has the hottest news babes on the planet, and that Brit Hume will never admit that Red Eye is his favorite show. We've learned that Germans enjoy sex with pretty much any animal, and that head-on should be applied directly to the forehead. We've learned that Greg has the only apartment in Manhattan with a basement, and that at various points in time, people and animals of various and assorted genders and ages have spent time in that basement, occasionally willingly, but often in a cage or box. We've learned that it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, if you're straight or gay. Mike Baker is just smoking hot. And finally, I think we've learned that people who said Red Eye would never make it to show 100 can suck it.
Yeah.
Greg?